Hey everybody, welcome back to Heels and Hormones. I wanted to come on today because I wanted to do a little bit more of a personal vlog about my recovery from my endometriosis surgeries. So you might have been keeping an eye on my page for an update, and apologies I've been so slow on doing one. I think like the last few months I've needed, I don't know, time to process it, and as well my recovery has been longer than expected, which has been a bit of a pain, but I'm getting there. So this is what happens when I try to film a vlog at home. So anyways, back to what I was saying. I had an excision surgery, which is where they cut out the endometriosis tissue. Yeah, it's a little bit more extreme than my first surgery. So my first surgery, I just had a diagnostic laparoscopy where they were basically trying to see whether it had endometriosis or not, and then they lasered it. So they used a heat laser, which is called diathermy. Now, I did have great results after my first surgery, and I was really, really happy that I had improvements. But unfortunately, it was kind of short lived. That's why my second surgery, I looked for an excision specialist. The first specialist I was referred to by my GP. I'd asked to see somebody who could do excision rather than ablation, which is more lasering kind of thing. So I'd written everything out before I went in, just kind of like a list of my symptoms, the things I was concerned about, and then I also asked different questions about what techniques they use, and things like that, just so I could kind of decipher their level of skill and whether I'd be getting the treatment that I wanted this time around. So when I had my meeting with this particular surgeon, I actually met with another doctor a level below him. She was super nice. She did go through things with me, but she wrote me a prescription for something that puts you into like a false menopause, and I really didn't want to go down that route. It's like an injections that you get once a month. Obviously, it's completely personal, and I'm not saying if somebody else has gone down that route, it's wrong. But for me, it wasn't what I wanted to do, and they really pushed it. I was quite surprised they didn't even discuss the risks or side effects, which there are quite a few with this treatment. So that kind of made my back go up a little bit. So she put me on the list for a laparoscopy with this surgeon. And I was like, okay, so when do I meet him? And she was like, hey, you'll meet him on the morning of the surgery. And I kind of just was like, but like, this kind of happened to me in my last surgery. Like, even actually the guy I met before, a completely different surgeon, turned up on the day. So I just felt a bit uncomfortable, and I was like, if there's any like possibility that I could meet him beforehand, like I have a few questions, that would be amazing. So actually I was so lucky. When we were leaving, he walked past, and she asked him to just come in really quickly and sit down with me. So I asked him a few questions. It didn't really go very well. So I just found it a little bit patronizing. Like, the one thing he said to me that really made me go, okay, red flag, was he turned around and he just said, okay, hon, we just need to have a look inside your tub, okay? And I was thinking, I'm not 5 years old, what's going on here? I just didn't feel right about it. I told my partner, oh, I'm on this list for this surgery, and I think he could tell I wasn't like, like, I don't think you're ever like, woohoo, I'm gonna have a surgery. But I just was so uneasy. I decided to get a second opinion, and I'm so glad that I did. And honestly, I would recommend it for anybody having even the smallest seed of doubt, because even if you go to somebody else and they say the exact same thing as the first guy, you'll feel so much better about it. You'll feel like, okay, this is the right thing. So I thought, I'll go see, this guy says the same thing. I'll know I'm on the list, I'm good to go with this first guy on the NHS. The second guy I have to tell you was private. So I paid to go see him. Oh my god, he was like a breath of fresh air. It was so weird. Like, I've had hundreds of doctor's appointments at this stage. I'm just so used to being like fobbed off, like, oh, you're grand, like, you're exaggerating, you're a hypochondriac, oh, you must be very sensitive. You know, the usual things that women face in their search for good health and healthcare. So I kind of went in like, okay, I've got my list again. I'm like ready, you know, to go through and see, get the facts and everything. And oh my God, he was just so lovely. He completely put me at ease and he really listened. And that's what I found before is doctors haven't always listened. He actually allowed me to bring my partner in, which was really helpful. So he could ask a few questions and, you know, like just support me, I guess. And I explained that they wanted to put me on these injections, and he was like, halt, no, 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 no. For my case, he didn't think that was the correct path to go. So that was a kind of like a relief to me because I felt the same way. And anyways, we talked through all my symptoms and he agreed that another laparoscopy needed to be done. And obviously there was the financial aspect of it. You know, I actually have health insurance, but I wasn't sure that they would cover it. So I had to ask about costs and things like this. But my partner was immediately like, you're doing it with him. Like, I don't care how much it costs. We're going to save. We'll make it work. Like, whatever. Because I can see how nice this guy is. I trust him as well. I can see how you react to him. And he was right. You know, like, I left being like, it was like a weight had been lifted off. I had somebody listen and go, okay, your problems actually are real. You know, this is an issue. There's something wrong. And it was a relief to have somebody actually kind of verify that for me, because I think a common experience for women with these kind of health issues is a lot of the time you're blue in the face from going to the doctors and not getting anywhere, and you actually start doubting yourself. I have had those thoughts so many times, like, am I the crazy one? Like, is this all in my head? Like, seriously, am I pushing for the wrong thing? Like, maybe I am just too sensitive. I decided not to do it straight away. I'd actually seen him first in, I think it was maybe October time. And I decided to schedule my surgery for December just because I was busy with work. You know, I'm self-employed, so taking time off isn't ideal because I don't have paid sick leave. So I decided to do it just before Christmas because work kind of tapers down for me towards the Christmas break. I usually go home to Dublin, so I figured I could recover at home, have a bit of support from my parents. You can read in the posts that I've already written about going up for my pre-op and stuff before. But yeah, God, I'm having a total rant here. This wasn't even what I was planning on talking about. Yeah, I should do a little quick run through as well of my kind of after effects, since now it's April, which is quite a while after. In my first surgery, I think I took off about 3.5 weeks. And then I was like straight back into work, long days shooting. I kind of thought it was going to be the same. The recovery from this one was rough. Like 3.5 weeks out, there was no way I was going to be even putting on skinny jeans. Like, I was really, really exhausted, really swollen, really sore. It just totally wiped me out. So yeah, it's taken a little bit longer this time. Even like my scars and everything took a lot longer to heal. This time I had 4 incisions. The last time I had 3. And I also had a drain in. It was grim. I'm actually glad I didn't know that that was happening before the surgery. I just woke up when I needed to go to the bathroom. You know, the nurse was helping me get out of bed, and I whipped the sheet off. I got a right fright. I had this tube coming out attached like a bag. It's just gross looking as well. Like, I'm really squeamish, so it was very, very nice. It was quite uncomfortable, but I only had to have that in for a few days just to like drain off fluid. And once I like got up and was walking up and down the corridors and stuff, I was able to get it out before I went home. But yeah, I think the drain incision was by far the longest for recovery. The other ones looked great. They healed up quite fast. I was able to get the stitches out a couple of weeks later. But this one, oh my god, it was so rough. Funny story, when I went over to my friend Alicia's house. Hey Alicia. She got engaged just before Christmas. She's one of my close friends in Dublin, so I hadn't met her fiance yet. Absolutely ridiculous, but we'd always missed each other when I'd gone home. And so I was like, I don't care if I'm sick, like I'm coming over, I want to meet him, I want to congratulate you guys. So when I was home in Dublin, my mom drove me over to her fiance's house so I could meet him and all his family. So I just wore this like big baggy jumper dress. I got it in Zara. It was honestly star by because it was so baggy, it hid my swollen belly and all my bandages and dressings and stuff. And it was so comfy because I couldn't wear anything with the waistband. Like, there was no way. So I went over to hers in the car, and like, you know, I wasn't really walking around much at this stage. I just thought, my mum will drop me there, I'll go in, sit down, and then get back in the car and straight into bed. I got to the front door. My mum drove off. I rang the bell. I'm not even joking. I thought I peed myself. This is really embarrassing. I just felt like warm, like stuff going down my legs, and I was like, oh my god, like what am I gonna do? I'm standing here, I've already rang the doorbell. So they swing open the door and they say like, this is Graham, whatever, and I was just like, hi, where's your bathroom? Like ran off. Like they must have thought I was an absolute lunatic. I literally went straight past the two of them, right into his house, ran into the loo, and it turns out that my bandage had like come unstuck probably when I was like sitting in the car, and like leaked like liquid everywhere, like coming out of my incision. Now it was, sorry for those that are squeamishes. Thank God for synthetic material because it didn't soak up anything and the dress was white. So it could have really been an absolute crime scene situation. But yeah, I was able to kind of like clean it off, whatever, and I was like sticking my head out like, Lucia, I need a little bit of help. Like, thank God my friend Lucia is a nurse. So she was able to change my dressings and sort me out. But yeah, maybe don't make my mistake and go out too soon after surgery if you don't want things like that to happen. That just kind of shows why I had to take a bit more time off work this time around. I wasn't really ready to put on expensive clothes. But yeah, it was just kind of up and down this time. I really felt it in my energy levels. Like I slept all the time. I love my sleep. But this was like another level. I was so upset I slept right through Christmas Day. I'm not even joking. So my family, we get up in the morning, we open like presents and stuff. Everybody actually came into my room, so I didn't have to move, and open like stuff from our stockings. And we had some breakfast. We usually do a family walk on Christmas Day where we all go off somewhere nice and like just like get a bit of exercise before we eat all the food. But obviously this time, like, there was no way I could go. So I was like, I'm just gonna have a little nap. You guys all go. I was out cold, like, straight away, as soon as my head hit the pillow. And I think I woke up at maybe like 5:30 that evening. And I was so upset. I couldn't believe I missed all of Christmas Day. And they were literally about to serve dinner. Like, usually, you know, like, my job is to peel the sprouts and you know, my sister always doing the gravy, like we all have our jobs. And I was like, I miss peeling the sprouts. I was like bawling, crying. They're like, you needed to sleep, like it's grand, you're recovering. I was beside myself, honestly. So I just got up, had a bit of food, and then I went back to bed again. So at least I still got to have some dinner, but yeah, Christmas was a bit of a write-off for me. I was definitely way too optimistic about how well I was going to be. And I think I probably pushed myself a bit too hard as well. Like even flying home a week after surgery was rough. I got a wheelchair through the airport, which was great. Like the service was pretty good, I must say. But like, it's mad. It's actually mad how people are treated. Like I guess I got like the smallest glimpse ever of what it would be like, you know, to be wheelchair bound. And honestly, people aren't so polite. Honestly, like I had people like smacking me with their handbags, like walking past, like as though I was invisible. I was mad. I felt like taking the ankles off them, you know? I was like hoping the man would like ram me into them just to piss them off. But yeah, it was, everybody was really nice. Like all the way through security and everything. People were super gentle and accommodating. But even just like sitting on the plane, having to put a seatbelt on, just like I had to walk myself up the stairs, and had people behind me. So I was like, I can't go like 2 miles an hour, which I needed to go at, you know, because I felt like peer pressure. And the man, he was like, don't be ridiculous. Take your time. Like, don't feel pressured. But I kind of tried to go a bit faster. Still was pretty slow. But yeah, we had a bit of a bumpy landing. So it kind of jerked me and everything. I was like, oh, it was super sore. Yeah, since New Year and stuff, things started to improve, but it's just been really slow progress. And like when I started to get a bit active again, it would set me back. So basically, long story short, is I'm feeling a lot better. I don't know if I'll ever be 100%, but my surgeon told me recently, I had a phone consultation with him the other day, is that I need to wait probably about another 4 months to see the full like success of the surgery, um, and like full improvements, if you know what I mean. Because it turns out it does take a really long time. I'm going to start doing some little bits of exercise now. I've got the all clear as of 2 weeks ago. I've been taking some like probiotics and vitamins and supplements and things like that to try and boost my system. Anyways, that was a total random rant. Apologies, I went all over the place. I'll write a proper post saying exactly like what was found and things like that, but they found multiple areas of endometriosis, so that was all cut out. So now I am going to go get myself some lunch and actually need to do some wedding planning. So I'll talk to you later.